Hi, this is Peter Sage, creator of the Millionaire Business School and best-selling Amazon author. And on this video, I want to share with you what are the 5 qualities and keys that make a great leader. Now, leadership is a subject that millions of books have been written about and everybody has their own take. And if we were honest about it, we could probably list the top 500 qualities and characteristics of a great leader. But everybody has their own spin. And having looked through all of the different aspects of leadership, I wanted to come up with 5 that would really dial you in to what I feel to be the fundamental principles that govern most of the world's greatest leaders. And so rather than go through academic essays or books or theories, let's just make it real. Let's come up with 5 key points that I can share together that if you embody these will dramatically shift your whole relationship to the workplace, to life, to your environment, to your community. And so looking around, these are the keys that I wanted to share. The first one is the ability to be unpopular in the moment for what you believe to be the greater good. In other words, you see a lot of people, and this is unfortunately in today's society very endemic of most politicians. Most politicians are not willing to be unpopular because the role of politics is not to govern anymore, unfortunately. The primary role of politics is to be re-elected, to be popular, so that the populace will re-elect them after 4 years. And it's very rare that you'll get a leader in politics that turns around and does what is unpopular for what they wholeheartedly and congruently believe will serve the greater good of the masses. The last great example of that was the late Nelson Mandela, who, when he came out of being in Robben Island prison for 27 years, and the entire country really wanted him to say, oh great, now it's an excuse to declare war against the oppressors and the supporters of apartheid, turned around and said, no, that's not where we're going to go. 30 million people went, what? He said, no, I'm going to forgive them. And if I can forgive them, what excuse do you have? And he brought together a nation on the brink of civil war by doing what was unpopular but was the right thing for what he believed to be the decisions that would unite rather than divide. So again, unfortunately that isn't very popular amongst politics these days, but the willingness to be unpopular for what you believe will serve the greater good rather than try and recruit adherents into your way of thinking or get more likes on a post on Facebook or give you some level of ego stroke is one of the rare but definitely inherent characteristics of a great leader. Now, the other aspect to that is it isn't about imposing what you think is right to serve your own needs, because that brings us on to the second quality of what I believe to be great leadership. And that is a predisposition or a default position of being ethnocentric, not egocentric. In other words, coming from a place of how can I serve and contribute rather than what's in it for me. So if you take a leader such as Saddam Hussein, Adolf Hitler, they had the same leadership qualities and ability to influence the masses as somebody like Mahatma Gandhi or Martin Luther King. Same leadership qualities, but very different ways of being able to apply that. One was self-serving, how can I get? The others was, how can we make a difference and contribute to the greater good? Ethnocentric and egocentric are 2 very different styles of leadership, even though the qualities behind them may be the same. It's very similar to saying, the difference between manipulating somebody versus influencing them is exactly the same skill sets. The only difference is the intent. Is the intent to contribute and add value, or is the intent to manipulate and get what it is that I want for me? Right, so, the ability to be ethnocentric, not egocentric, is definitely one of the 5 fundamental qualities of great leadership. The third quality, I would say, is a desire to create more leaders and not amass more followers. If you have a look at certain institutions, and unfortunately, I see schools as falling into this category a lot. For many years I served on the board of advisors for entrepreneurship for one of the world's top business schools, INSEAD in Paris, in Fontainebleau. And as a person who doesn't have a strong academic background, I dropped out of school at 16 with no formal qualifications. It was interesting for me to observe from an outside perspective the sort of academic, how can I put it, the sort of tendencies. And what I noticed, and this is certainly not just true for business schools, but for schools globally, I see that many teachers utilize their position as a teacher for one to stand on a pedestal of significance. In other words, I'm the teacher, you're the student, and therefore you'll do as I say because I'm the clever one and I'm going to assess you, so I hold all the aces. Now, it's a gross generalization, and there are many teachers that have far bigger hearts than probably what I've just described. But the point is, there is a difference between a teacher who utilizes their position to teach and maintain a position of superiority and inferiority, and enhance that position even unconsciously as a way to support their own sense of self and identity, versus other rare teachers that we see. And I'm sure if you had one of these teachers, you'd be able to think of their name right now because they're so impactful. And that is teachers who understand that the real goal of every teacher is for their students to excel them, to stand on their shoulders. Their role is to kneel down and help their students stand on their shoulders and go and carry the baton onto something even greater. See, everything other than that is ego. And unfortunately, as I say, in most societies, those kind of teachers are very rare. So the desire to create more leaders rather than amass more followers is definitely a characteristic that I would put on the table. Number 4, very simple, lead by example. Talk is cheap, and we can all tell other people what we think they should do. We have no right to do that, but everybody has an opinion. So real leaders go there first. When I'm working in certain environments, I have no right to expect anybody to do things that I haven't done myself. I teach business because I've built successful businesses. I can teach about lessons from failures because I've had spectacular failures. I've probably learned more from my mistakes than I have from my successes. But I'm not unwilling to go there and try a new business for fear of failure, and then tell everybody else that they should have a higher ability to handle uncertainty. That wouldn't be authentic. So leaders go there first. The whole parental adage, should I say, of do as I say, not as I do, doesn't cut it in leadership. Okay. Finally, number 5, make quick yet not impulsive decisions. That's what I see about real leaders as well. They make firm and quick decisions. In other words, they don't deliberate for hours on end or weeks on end, or do what I call the kind of uncertainty dance, as it were. No, they have a strong sense of who they are. They have a strong sense of their mission, their character, and their values. And as a result of that, once they have the relevant information, either through advisors or contemplation or in a reflection, from there, they then make a decision. And they're usually quick and firm about making that decision based upon the right level of input, both inner input and consultation, and outer advice and information. And it's rare that they then change that unless they are presented with advice or information or an angle or a point of view that they weren't privy to when they made the original decision. So if you want to become a great leader, learn how to make better decisions. And not impulsive decisions which are led by an emotional reaction. Again, politics, we see it all the time. We have because we have a need in politics to be re-elected and be popular, we want to make decisions impulsively that we feel restore our position if it's been threatened. Or react to what the public or the masses are screaming for. And that may not be the best decision. And whether that's an aircraft, whereby now we can no longer take liquids on board a plane over 100 mil globally, because it's a political knee-jerk reaction, but we can take the same liquid in 3 different bottles of 99 mil. I mean, it makes absolutely no sense. Let's penalize 25 million passengers a day for something that happened as a one-off. Now, I'm not here to say that I don't take airport security lightly, but I'm sure you understand my point. That wasn't and never really had its basis in effective security. It had its genesis and its impetus based upon political knee-jerk reactions, which we see all the time. That's just one example. So, making the right decisions, not impulsive decisions, is definitely my 5 qualities. So there we have it. Again, you can get lost in the minefield of what it's meant to be a great leader, but I know, with my heart, that if you take on board those 5 points and try and be mindful of those on your journey, you'll be able to impact a lot of people for the greater good in a way that leaves this world a little better place. And that, my friends, is really our goal. Hey, Peter Sage here. I'm back just to say I hope you enjoyed what you saw on that video. And remember that knowing and not doing is the same as not knowing. So it's about applying what you learn, not just being passively entertained by what you learn. If you like more of what I do, please subscribe to my channel so I can share more of my wisdom and insights with you to make a difference. Please also go to my website at petersage.com. I have a ton of free content for a lot of people there to add more value, and I hope to see you on another video soon.